In terms of API security, I know it's a slightly less mature area than perhaps zero trust is. What are you seeing in terms of approaches to API security that are particularly intriguing?
Yeah, so it's funny because people conflate two specific areas in one, and I'd love to talk about those two separately. There's API security, which is how do you provide the appropriate level of authentication and authorization between APIs. So when APIs are calling APIs, that the calling API knows that the caller is authentic. There's probably 3 or 4 companies I can think of off the top of my head that obviously address that. One of the companies that actually got the second place in the Innovation Sandbox, Pangea Cyber, addresses security APIs. And so for a long period of time, application developers had to build cyber features into the application software. The issue has been that there is no company or no approach that provides an end-to-end set of microservices or APIs. So if you want to build these features, you don't have to go reverse engineer security controls to extract the SDK out of it. And so what Pangea is doing is externalizing all the APIs that application developers need to build all the cyber features from authentication, authorization, Redact services, Embargo services. And so there's a set of companies that deal with how do you authenticate and authorize and ensure that APIs calling each other are authentic. And there's Pangea, and I'm sure there's going to be emerging companies that are going to externalize the guts of these security controls to allow application developers to code to these APIs and build cyber features within the fabric of the software. I think both areas are really, really exciting.
In terms of the area that Pangea has taken on, what's the tangible benefit to customers of that approach versus how it was traditionally done?
Yes, the way it's done today is really a very ad hoc model because there is no getting away of not building cyber features into applications. Obviously, Auth0 did it with authentication, and they got acquired by Okta for a huge price. For one authentication, you might imagine there's hundreds of other cyber features that app developers need to build these cyber features into applications in lieu of a cohesive framework that abstracts all these things under one SDK. Really, app developers have to resort to doing their own. And so you either have to buy a security control and extract the API out of it, or you have to build your own API. And so the problem arises where there's no consistency around the framework and the abstraction layer, and each developer is doing its own thing. We equate sort of what we're doing at Pangea to what Twilio, for instance, did for communications, what Stripe did for e-commerce, Amazon did with AWS. I think it's time to allow developers to build these cyber features they need, but build it in a cohesive framework with the same set of APIs over and over again. It's going to bring the expense of maintenance down a ton.